Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be on the DIY kick again for this video. I talk a lot about knives on here because primarily that's the tools that we use to do our craft or our hobby, is some sort of carving tools. And eventually I've been doing bushcraft for a long time. I wasn't calling it bushcraft until probably 2016 or so. It was just playing with wood and stuff. But anywho, since then I have had a reasonably extensive variety of tools at my fingertips to use. And in I think 2017 I started the knife of the month, and the knife of the month is I just use a different knife every month, and I have a bunch of things that I do with it. Depends season to season too. I heat only with wood heat in my house, so if I process anything to start a fire with, I use whatever knife it is that I happen to have that month. But in doing that, I've found a bunch of really cool knives. I've found what works best for me or what I don't like personally. That really has nothing to do with the knife. It's just more of my preference. But also, you will get to a point, if you do it enough, where you would like to do your own things. And everybody likes DIY stuff. And knives are a big part of the DIY too. And they can come from... I've had lots of questions about the Jikari Pukos from Finland, from Bushcraft. Here's one. This is the... I think that's the 220, I think. But it's plain. You can put scales on it. They normally come with a rubber handle. I also had questions about these guys, the Mora blanks. I think these are two different ones, I think. Nope, they're the same. But there's a couple different lengths of Mora knife blade. You can get stainless or carbon steel. And this is the tang that's in a Mora knife. This is what it looks like inside there. The Moras are super fun. You can go as fancy as putting a piece of antler on them to drilling a small hole in the pith of a piece of black walnut and just beating it in there. And it'll hold surprisingly well. These are from Nordic Edge. And these are different types of... It's got some sticky stuff on the back of it. These are different types of mushroom knives that I plan on making at some point. You can get these off ragweedforge.com. A bunch of these come off of ragweed. This one comes from Bushcraft. These are from Amazon. Nordic Edge is from Ragweed Forge, and all these guys are also from Ragweed Forge. There's so many options for knives, blanks on Ragweed Forge. It's unbelievable. And you can go from like big honker Puko blades to some of my favorite little bitty Pukos like this dude. The total overall length is only about 4 3/4 of an inch. The blade is about 1 5/8 inches. And compared to this dude, huge difference. But most measurements are on Ragweed Forge website, and they're really inexpensive. I think this guy's like $7. But there's so many different, like Puko. I like a Puko for a working knife. But there's so many different flavors. See, these are slightly different also. It's another big one. And then these are just little bitty guys. It's a little longer. Another small one. These make really good carbon knives too. I've got a couple of them, but I end up, somebody wants it worse than I do, so it ends up going to a new home a lot of times. But the internet makes knife making super simple. You could order the stuff to do these entire knives. The scales, all of it. You can get, you can get that stuff, order it right offline and be ready to rock and roll. Which is pretty awesome if it's something that you're just wanting to try. You know, if you're just trying it, you say, oh, I might get me a blank, and then figure you're going to do the handle yourself. And, you know, try to put it in a piece of bone, or however you want to do it. It's as easy as having a drill and some files or a grinder and shaping it yourself. Also, they have these hook knives that are great workers. I actually might put this guy on the handle today since it's the last one that I got. But it's the type of hook knife that they use, a farrier would use, but also it works. It's a good craft knife for like that, I don't know how you pronounce it, Mahonka or whatever it's called. This does about the same as that guy. It's the other ones, it's a little different. It's got like a crook instead of a complete circle, but this is a good option. I put handles on several ones of these, and that may be a video that we do. I'll go ahead and get and prep my material, and we'll do a video on that. That'll be a good video for this guy. So that's coming up. We're gonna put a handle on this guy just to show you guys really how easy it is. Super simple. But the options, tons of options, guys. You can go ham on this stuff and go from just the little bitty dudes to the big guys. You know, you don't have to buy or have a bunch of knives, you know, to be able to successfully complete the tasks that you're trying to do. That's why in the beginning I was telling you guys that you should get some books. You should get books or read and just kind of figure out roughly what you're going to try to accomplish, and then go from there. You know, if it's going to tell you what you need: a saw, a knife, maybe a hatchet, and depending on what kind of stuff you're doing, if you're making dimensional pieces from cedar or poplar or some sort of softwood pine, you can do it with a decent full tang knife like this guy. You could take this, as thick as it is, you could take this dude and put a good handle on it, and you could baton that guy pretty hard. Like, you wouldn't have to, you might worry about your piece of wood on the handle busting maybe, unless it's stabilized. But you can buy stabilized pieces offline. And then I'm sure there's videos on how to stabilize it yourself. I think you have to put it in some sort of pressurized vessel with epoxy or something like that, and let it completely impregnate all of the cells and stuff inside of it, or voids, and it'll harden up and give you one solid piece of wood. They do that with antler and all kind of stuff, though. Again, I just wanted to share. There were some people that had asked me about blanks. These are the Mora blanks that they were asking me about, and I do have. It's inside. I forgot to get it. I got 2 of them that I've made that I'll share with you guys another day. We'll talk about those more ones. One's got a bone handle, like maybe it was a piece of a rib or something. It kind of looks funny. but I mean, it's funny in a cool way. But the other one is just in a piece of black walnut that I've used for just carving random things. It sits in the mudroom. Again, another relatively inexpensive DIY option are these blanks. So these, again, Nordic Edge Ragweed Forge. Morris, Amazon, or probably Ragweed's probably got them too. This big honker is from Barustalica. It comes with this to put a sheath around. And the rest of these guys are all from Ragweed Forge also. And I haven't been to the new website, but you can. When you was the old way, I would just go through and it had knife making materials, and you just click on it and go through and pick out the ones you want. And they range from a couple $100 to $5 or $6 for some of these smaller ones. Maybe there's some other ones than that, and I think those that I showed you was like $7. But anyway, prices go up and down. You can't hardly, unless I read it immediately and you guys go and buy it, we can't tell what the price is going to be tomorrow. But super fun. We'll do another video on some that I've made here another day, but check them out. Ragweed Forge, Mora, the Skorama, and the Jacari Puko line from Barustalica. Great options. Anyway, I appreciate the support. Thanks y'all for watching our videos. Appreciate all my comments and tips. Until next time, guys, like, subscribe, follow my Instagram at Bushcraft Kelso, bushcraftkelso.com for gizmos and gadgets. Have a good weekend. Later.